Hi guys. How is my haircut first of all? So one thing I learned with my hairstyle is that I think I have a big nose in my face, right? So whenever I go for haircut and if it is too side cut, like if you go too small with my hair, my nose really like gets highlighted and it's look weird. So I think with my face symmetry I feel like long hairstyle, like not that long, like big hairstyle kind of suits me well, that like put my nose into proportion. But whenever I go for small haircut, like makes me look fat and like rounded face and all, right? You can see, right? So yeah, every face has a symmetry, and with that symmetry a hairstyle will suit you. So for me I think little longer hairstyles kind of suits me well because of my nose shape. So you need to find your balance as well if you want to look maximize. I've seen a lot of videos on looks maximizing, a lot of bullshit. Probably I'll make a video on that to clarify that. Yeah, so today I want to talk about how I got my first job offer while I was doing BCA in my college and doing part-time job as a security guard. So that videos you might must have seen in my past videos. So yeah, let's start. So this started so as you know guys, right? I'm a BCA graduate, and while doing BCA, a lot of people will was telling me that okay, you need to do MCA to get good job or something, otherwise you will not get a job first of all, or even if you get a job it will be support jobs like call centers kind of, or maybe some like not technical. You won't find a coding job or something with BCA. That was a very hard thing. This was back in 2016, 15, 18, right? And so I was saying like I need to have a job, right? I felt like I cannot study more because I didn't like the education system, how you will doing things. So my idea was to get a job anyhow. My parents were telling you might have to do AC. All my friends were saying you might have to do MCA to have a good job or something. Even you will get job opportunities after that only. But I was very disheartened. Not disheartened. I was very much. I didn't wanted to study. Right. I knew that I will only learn while doing it. Right. So that idea has already was imprinted on my head. Right. So the idea was to get some. To how can I make myself not a regular BCA, a very good BCA who can crack a IT job, like a good development job or something, and get a job. So my was to like, okay, let's start building. So this in second year, I thought maybe I'll just now work towards the job thing. How would I? It'll make my resume very much better. So all BCA, I don't want to be a regular BCA, so I have to do extra work hard, or I have to have some other skills to get job in like in a real world, and not just normal job, or a really good job which I enjoy doing something like this. So in second year, I decided that I will find an internship where I could do some internship and get this thing on my certificate. I will know how things work, what are the things which are required to be a working job person, right, in IT development area. So I just started searching something I could find in Dehradun. So Dehradun is not a IT city, right? So somehow I found a startup kind of thing, uh, where I think one of the guys from uh, I don't know. Yeah, he was working in some big tech. Uh, so he was starting his own startup, and there I connected with him and asked him like, could you give me internship? So he was okay. Like he told me that you can learn as well, and you can work with us if you can do. So I contacted him. So he told me like whole IT is divided into four fields, right? And you need to know your field and which you want to work, which is interest. So he told me first field is cloud computing, taking all the things digital, that all the business on the cloud, so that everything was. One was like you can work in cloud computing. Another was big data, like Hadoop and all, how to manage big data, like and then third was I think web development, and the fourth he told me artificial intelligence, right? Machine learning, these all things. So which area like you feel like you can do good, right? So web I knew little bit. That time my what do you say, my expertise was nothing. I just barely knew C, C plus, Java, and JavaScript a bit. Just very basic level. I haven't even made a single website with my own. Like I just learned enough to pass exams, not enough to create something. So he told me like, yeah, these are I have work in these four area, and whatever you feel interest like, you can do it. So I was very, so he told me like, okay, these subjects required this kind of thing. For artificial intelligence, that he required a lot of good math, right, and the interest. This is very math oriented. So I used to, because I remember from my back year, right, which I took before after before college. In those time, I really enjoyed studying math. I was not very fast in math, covering a lot of syllabus, but I was slow and understand which I will understand each terminology, everything in detail, slopes, gradients, and these all things in very detail. So I thought maybe I have a chance over there, and also machine learning. This is the thing, like futurist thing, which I wanted to work. I was always interested in the movies which has AI, space exploration, and these all things, right? So yeah, I was like, maybe yeah, I'll do this. Is a cool thing. A lot of math. I think that's kind of fit in my area. Probably I'm not there. So I told him that okay, we will have weekly meetings. I'll try to learn all the material prerequisites which is required for the project. He told that he has some project regarding forest fire, predicting forest fire. How we can predict forest fire. So I thought maybe I'll do that. Uh, so yeah, I will be part of that. So he told me there are some prerequisites to go. I told him, okay, I'll just go with the basics. I'll try to learn ML, and then probably report you back in a week. Every week, I'll tell you what things I've learned, and then also try to contribute at the same time. So that was it. So this was the discussion I had, and then then I started looking for courses, and then I came across Andrew NG machine learning course, right, in 2017, right. And then when I started going to it, initial lessons are easy one. As soon as the math part started, like it was getting so hard that I was not able to understand. Then I knew that my prerequisites are not that filled. I need to go through a lot of math, which I thought I knew, but still didn't knew. So I was about to report back in a week. Then I thought there is nothing to report now. It's not like a software development or JavaScript, making a website or learning JavaScript that you'll do learn in a week and then progress to next thing. That would be easier thing to learn. But this was like there was a huge gap that I cannot go weekly and come up with. I thought this is a more than week time. So I started focusing on the course, then realized what are the maths are required. So I went back to Khan Academy and these all thing. I found a lot of good YouTube channel on maths. Like one of was Derek Owens, which is really there. He has really good playlist for calculus and all. If you really want that, you can ask me in comment section. I will definitely reply you there. Where though I required those prerequisites, and yeah, so that was it. And so yeah, I started doing, and then I knew it's a Pandora. It's like opening a box of Pandora. Like this is a rabbit hole, and you will go try to understand something. Then you will know that there is some underlying principle which I already don't know. Then you will try to go there. Then you will know that I don't know. So it loop into I went back a bit back in the rabbit hole. Right, like how recursion. You don't know the first function, then you go into the second function to solve. Then inside there is another function. Same way I didn't knew the first thing, then try to understand the other thing which is required to understand the first thing. That I didn't knew, then step in, a lot more like recursively I went very basic. So yeah, I started solidifying math and on the side taking courses. I remember I have watched a single video of Andrew NG, I think more than 20-30 times in my lifetime. That time only I watched 20 times, and now even if I watch, like again, I have to go give one more run to it. So per video, I watched 30 times, you can say that. And it took me So this Android NG course has a session time, right? It goes in 2 months or 3 months, right? 2 months or something like this. That course will whole thing will end. But for me, 2 months was not enough. I tried like 2 3 times. My 2 3 sessions passed. Then I was able to understand how machine learning works and everything. So it took me very much extra time than a normal person like what it was designed for, right? But yeah, slowly and steadily I was understanding it. I did then Android NG course and this all thing I done. I got certificate. I finally understood this all thing, right? So a lot like I think more than 7 8 months went into it, understanding the whole thing rigorously. My college were on, but I will only go for attendance and all, right? Not really. Even I missed a lot of classes in the last semesters and all these all things. So yeah, on the side, I started learning. Finally, I learned my machine learning certificate, and I knew about it. I could write in my resume. Even my class project, I made a digit classifier, right, which was very cool. So you know, a lot of people in my okay, one thing. This is I think I've talked about this in my first videos, if you can see. So all the people were having their projects, right? I Yeah, and people will have make do lot of efforts in the project file, costly files, writing a lot of material, creating this, that, and documentation, blah blah blah, and then they will have some stupid website and some bullshit thing made for them, right? And I, on the other hand, didn't spend penny, just normal file, 4 5 pages. That I also even didn't wrote, just printed it out, Take- right? And then stuck it and stapled it and gave it. So there was an invigilator who came to check our class project, and she was furious of my this thing. Like what the fuck? But in my heart, I knew like if you have the end product really good, this will not gonna matter. This whole shiny things to cover up your thing, that is only required if you have a shitty product, right? Good marketing or good packaging only required when you have shitty product. So I know that this is not gonna matter. But yeah, other people were like, "Hey, at least you should make file." I'm like, "Fuck off!" Like, my project will blow everything. Then when I showed this thing, my digit classifier on MATLAB. Nobody knew MATLAB first of all in my class. Uh, that I showed on MATLAB, and they were impressed, and I got really like great marks. Like great marks. Nobody have attempted machine learning. Like no, like I couldn't find any professor who understand machine learning everything on that. Even BTech and everything, masters in my whole university, right? Because I wanted to learn, I wanted to ask few things, I had doubts and all. I just wanted a companion who could help me, but there was nobody, right? So that time, yeah, so they were replaced. I got good marks, and then I started applying for the company. So a lot of companies were coming in my college as well, and then I was also going cool campuses as well. But nobody was coming for machine learning, right? They were just coming for simple IT jobs and a lot of other things, management jobs and all. Deloitte came. Deloitte, I got rejected by Deloitte. I got rejected by Capgemini even. These company like they had their sub first aptitude round and bullshit things, right? Very generic and I remember there were girls who got selected in this company whose programs I used to make them, like I used to teach them and I used to correct them while even exams as well, and I was not getting selected. So these were the scenarios. How based on this whole thing for Deloitte, I went into the last round, and the interview, the guy who was interviewing me was a .NET guy, and I told him about my machine learning. He didn't understand machine learning back then, right? So maybe I was overqualified. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what was the reason I didn't selected. So a lot of my friends got selected in Deloitte back then. Capgemini was like a write a essay, and there is no using backspace or something like this, and that was weird for me. I have bad writing skills. So yeah, that didn't work out. So I had like bullshit, like the companies, I was I think too qualified for them that time, maybe because of my tech, I guess. They were not able to hire me, but there was no company will come for machine learning in that time for a fresher hiring, something like this, right? And I was being rejected for like 12,000 job, 13,000, 14,000, 15 normal IT job which should have got, right? And I was getting rejected for that. It was so hard, painful for me. I applied so many ways. I was getting rejected. Then there is something called TCS Ignite program. If you heard about, if you're in BCA, I think you must have heard it. I don't know if still they are going with it, but yeah, there is something on TCS Ignite program where they hire BCA graduates, and uh, then they once you hire, they'll make sure that you do MCA with them while also working in the field. So yeah, so for me, one thing I want to make sure, I never practice aptitude and reasoning. It was so I used to feel like, why I have studied so much tech, coding, microprocessors, and these all things to just to find how, if train is going to this post and how will reach this time, and the people will practice a lot and these all things. But if I used to do, then why would study a technical course? And that would bore me out. I never study. I was bad at it. I was really bad at it. I never practiced it. Right. Still, I was able to do qualify for Deloitte. I don't know how that happened, but I was not that great. I was very slow. I will take a lot of time when people will do in a much faster way. And I was selected for Deloitte, and I also applied for this Ignite. So I have to go from Dehradun to Roorkee. Roorkee, they have a center, right? Where they, I think 4 hour test, which includes everything: text, coding, say English, everything, right? So my idea was to just be expert in one or two field, and rest don't care about. If you can cover a lot of marks and everything, and people will forgive you for other things, right? So yeah, I was practicing my coding. I was doing this thing. So these were things were like I was very on top, right? I have general in good English, I would say, like which will help me in the English reasonings and these all things, right? Pattern recognition and these all things I was good at. So that test was, I think, good design, and I was able to pass it. Right, English, theoretical part, I was able to crack that 4 hour exam, and but there was interview round still was left. Right, I was passed theoretically, then interviews were still left. And so one thing telling the future. So one time I remember that. Okay, so just before proceeding, how was my journey for the job, right? So in my class, I was failed in math. Although I was failed, I had like 30 or something. I don't know. I was lacking 5 to 7 marks exams to pass in my math. I was failed in math. I was having 30 or something marks. And I was too debarred in 2 labs because of, if you see in my Watchman video, right? Because I had my night job, I was not available for lab time, because lab time I need to sleep, otherwise I will not wake up in my night. So on purpose I missed my labs, so I was absent on all the labs. And when I was absent, so I got debarred, and because of that I was debarred in 2 subjects and failed in one. Now I had backlog, right, at the same time. And why I failed in math, I remember, was that while so usually I was in the last day guy, right? I will study a little bit. So my idea usually in college was that college is 6 month, 6 month semester. You will have one midterm. So I will super focused and everything. I'll work hard till my first midterm, which is around 2.5 months, right? And I will super into the class. I will try to catch up the professor's pace and everything, right? I will learn everything what I could learn. And then after mid semester, I will not learn. I will just enjoy college, like literally. Why was that? I knew that whatever I've studied in this semester, I will get some marks in midterm. That mark will also add in the final term. And the same questions will also arrive in the end term as well. So I have 50% I have already knowing the syllabus while going into the exam. So this really worked wonders for my other subjects. So I will only work really hard for first midterm. I'll get some good marks over there. And then the next I will not learn that much. I will learn, but with my pace and whatever I needed to focus on, like not regularly following class, maybe being absent as well a lot of time. And the same question, 50 of the 50% question are gonna again come from the midterm. So I already knew it. So I only need revision to go through it. So overall, I will get 60, 70 marks easily with this method, with a very least effort, I would say. So that I was following. But in math, what happened that I came across this regression, linear regression equation, and that was very abstractly defined in the book which I was reading through that time, which I took from college library. It was shit book, and regression was I think in a college, but nobody in my class also nobody explained how this worked. Just gave this regression formula, just apply it and learn it. And I'm a very abstract person. I don't like black box things, right? So I just wanted to understand how this work and everything. That was basically a machine learning which I didn't knew. And on my last 2 days before my maths exam, I was stuck in problem solving that problem. I could have gone through matrices, determinants, other things, and get some marks like just to which will come. And I was stuck like maybe I will understand this. This will come. I'll do in exam and everything. I was stuck in that problem and that never solved. An exam came and I went under prepared and got fucked up in exam. And that question also didn't arrive, right? So yeah, yeah, I got really did really bad in that exam because of this, because I was stuck. And one of the problem with this my mindset, I was very abstract while learning programming language when the compilers and everything. I was wondering how these codes are being executed in the compiler or interpreted, how this thing is working. I don't knew how black box thinking work, right? How they are converted into binary and these all things. So in the programming class, I would be wonder about the abstraction, right? The black blocks, how this work. And that why my programming was also like I could have like taken word of mouth everybody like okay just forget about it, you have some tools, learn how to use these best tool programming tools and just create something. That would be a great mindset, but I was very stuck, I was very stubborn and I stuck with the idea I need to discover this thing. So at uh, that time I reading about compilers and everything, how this thing, then somehow I came across microprocessor, then microprocessors have all the answers, how they solve this code and everything. Then we went deep into microprocessor, then even went beyond the syllabus, and they started reading about circuits and all this thing. And then finally I came across a really good book. The book's name is How They Do It Now by James Scott, something like this. They have this Scott processor. So that book taught me everything for the stuff. How from a NAND gate I could make a whole computer. And there was a good course on NAND to Tetris on Coursera, right? So that I took, and that solved my abstractions. That solved my black box. How this programming. Even I made my whole 4-bit for a semi, like I almost made my 4-bit computer by myself, a microprocessor, right? Like today world ends, I'm the person who can like who can make computer from the scratch without having giving me a library or something. If today world ends, everything goes, there is no books database where the information about this thing is stored. I think I'm one of the guy who could build a computer from the scratch. So that I learned over there. So those abstraction, when that solved, then I started learning programming. And then my all I was very late to the class, everybody was like way excelling in programming and all this thing, right? So this was my mindset. And yeah, coming back, so I never, my idea was to just focus on the strength part. And if you don't like, so same thing happened with there was a lecture on accounts finance something, right? Accountancy, where they do this debits and credits. The teacher came in the class and started teaching, and half of my class students were for commerce, so they have already understood they were these things about. And they, so class teacher got good response in the class. They already knew that all the people are from commerce or something. And she went really fast and I couldn't understand a thing what was happening in the finance class. That was blowing my mind. I didn't understand what the fuck is this debit credit, and I was very confused. Because of that I was not able to understand everything. And I got really also, yeah, my what happened was when the day where this finance class midterm was to happen, I was late to the exam. I missed my bus or something like this. And I was very late. I was unprepared and everything. I gave my exam. It was terrible. Almost failed. I failed in the this thing. And so in midterm, while other people were learning programmings and everything, I was just learning on finance, how this debit credit system works and everything. So goal was, because I had very much, now I have to do really good to pass the exam, because no marks from it now. And other people were focusing in programming and this whole thing. So I thought, okay, what the fuck? Now I have to do this. So I left everything and started learning finance. For the whole semester, I didn't did anything. Just learned that and then finally able to pass in finance. And because of that, I fucked up my all the other subjects. I lagged. I started my class as a very good student in all the areas. Then because of this thing, I was like back to the backbenchers because of this finance thing. Yeah, I was passed, but because of that, other my other education really got disturbed. So yeah, so till the end, my average score, people had 9.5, 9.8, 9.8. My was like around 7 CGPA. Here I am in the overall exam. In the last time, what I for the I was dividing two subjects in the math. So I didn't know what there is something called grace marks. If you're failing in one subject, you might get 5, 10 marks grace marks just to make you pass. And I was failing in the math. So what I didn't wanted to go back math because I will stuck with abstractions and that will fuck me up. I didn't wanted to give the math exam back. So I totally focused on my two labs, like that programming two labs, right? One was I think CBNST, I guess. Another was some Java programming, I guess. So I really focus hard on the this thing, and I really passed those exams with a really good marks, so that my overall percentage become good. And then I didn't had to apply for back exam for math, and and then didn't have to apply, and then I will pass just with my grace marks. And for the first time, I really made friends, female friends. In my class, because I was in the debate part. Usually, I'm not kind of student who gets debates or gets bagged. Because it happened, I was got back, and there were people who were in the lines filling the re-examination forms and all. So there, I found a lot of girls of my class and everything. So there, I really made friends. I think I met my one of my friend, two, three of my good friends, female friends of my class over there, right? Because I was part of their group now. I was like hot and cold guy who sounds really good in the class but still was failing. So now I had common things going with them, right? So yeah, there I made friends, female friends, basically. So yeah, so that was it. So yeah, and now talking about how I passed my this thing. I didn't never practice any aptitude reasoning. I was just practicing what I was good at, carrying on my ML courses and everything. There was none question related to the theoretical pass. I passed the TCS. I was really happy. Then the interview came. So this interview, before this interview, I have failed into many multiple. I've only reached the interview round of Deloitte and other companies. I was just rejected. Wipro also came. I got rejected over there as well. They had also some VIT, Valor Institute. They will, instead of MCA, they will give you MTech course in VIT. That also failed. I don't know on what basis they were taking. Or most I felt like they were just hiring beautiful girls in the class, tall, beautiful girls. That was it. Uh, so yeah, there was a lot of shortcomings in me as well. Maybe I don't look very good, well-rounded, well-packaged, I guess. But I have strength in one or two fields only, right? So I was being rejected for like 10,000 jobs, 20, 13,000, 14,000, like some simple jobs I was not able to crack down. So that was really bad. Uh, that was like hitting, like I was really demotivated because of that. Like I know machine learning, nobody's coming asking this question, or maybe a company who do ML coming for hiring like this. Then yeah, then I was disappointed, and then this TCS interview happened. There the interview guy, he knew about machine learning, right? He was aware of this thing, and I really had a good conversation. I could answer his question and everything. And yeah, that went well. He went ask me what are the good things to visit in Dehradun. I told him Masuri, go visit Masuri and everything. So we really had good conversation. I was very confident, like, okay, boom, this is gonna happen. And after a month, the results came, and I was selected for the TCS Ignite program, right, which make you MC and also give you. So the post was I graduate trainee or something like this. Yeah. and they were not paying that much. I think the salary would be around 12,000, something like this. And then you have to live in Chennai and everything, right? So I was like, okay, fine enough. I finally got a job and I was really happy. I celebrated my job offer with my family and with my friends. I took them to the nearest mountain track, Padraj. We spent a day over there. That was good. So now I got a job offer, right? And I was also thinking that this job offer would make things easier in my life, even help me in my relationship, solidify. Maybe now I'm earning and everything. The girl I wanted to pursue will be finally be mine or something. This kind of thinking was going on. But yeah, for that you need to see my other videos. How that story went. So yeah, I got selected for this. I was really happy and became very confident. Now I was still applying for the other job. So this was a good job, and like I was like, okay, good. Now I have a job offer in my hand, and now my college has this criteria. Like once you get a job, they will not try to make you sit in other job offer so that you don't ruin the chances for other students. So this was also happening at the same time, and so the job which I actually pursued. So this TCS job I didn't took, by the way. The next job, because I knew I will start a graduate trainee, but I was not sure that I will find a machine learning project and they will put me in a machine learning project. Because that is a big company, right? They were not giving me a machine learning position or something, right? I was just a graduate trainee. By law, I knew that systems cannot go fuck like this, right? TCS is basically university. So I know how universities work. I know there will be something like, oh, you don't fill in this criteria, you won't get this thing, you need some experience. So I don't wanted to do and work on some database or some Java and everything, right? So I was very peculiar about that. Like, okay, this is a good job, but I wanted to do have this thing. So I remember there was a company came for business consultant for 5 lakh package, and so they came for and they were hiring from MTech, BCA, everything, right? Uh, Business consultant. And I applied for it. It was in the Tulas campus. This is another college in Dehradun where I went. And over there, I saw like so many students from my college only and from different colleges as well. They were there, and this thing was going. So when I went, I didn't understand. I thought like this. I didn't understand they are coming for. That's not a IT job. That's not a development job. Actually, it's a business consultant. And I didn't read that carefully. I thought like, okay, if they are I say hiring BTech, BS, BTech, MTech, and these all things, probably it will be IT job only, right? So I went there and then they realized, okay, this is about a business consultant, right? And in their introductory speech, they were telling they are doing something in the AI. The company deal with AI, but over here they came here for hire business consultant. Then I got excited. Like sometime for the first time, a company came over here. We want who is working in AI. So there was a lot of people who came for business, and there was few guys who were like me from MTech. They also wanted to get the IT job, not the business consultant. And they were also their tests, five or six rounds were made, and that was on basis of their discussions and everything. That were totally purely based. Those examination was to see how good you're talking for the business skill, right? And so those tests were made like this. So there was a guy. Remember, I told him that okay, I came for technical, thinking about technical thing, but it's a business because I don't know how I should proceed. So this guy told me that I also came for that only. I wanted to have a technical job, but I will gonna pass through all the hoops. In the end, when I get selected, then I will tell, hey, I don't want to do business. I wanted to do this thing. So I thought it's a good idea, right? I'll go with it and everything, right? But I knew that my strengths are not that. I'm not good. I've been rejected because of those things in my past. Maybe I'm only good at machine learning right now. I'm not good at other things. So this guy went with that, and I thought like if I'd go there and somehow failed in one of the first initial round, because they're gonna treat me like that only, right? In a business way, that will ruin my first impression, right? So I thought, okay, this is a long game I'm gonna play. I don't want to ruin my impression, everything. So let's let them finish their whole thing. So I planned. I sit it out for like 7 8 hours in that college through the whole process. I waited when they are all free and could find the right time to reach out to the HR when they are free and tell them, hey, I learned that you guys are doing something in AI. I have this certification which I've done. I'm really interested in that. I have some experience. Do you have any opportunity, or maybe can you help me meet the CEO of that company? So this HR was really kind, and she made me a meeting with this guy, and told the CEO that there is a guy who have done something in machine learning. I sent my resume and this all thing, right? And then he was okay meeting me. And then I had a small interview where he asked me some basic questions, just to check how aware on my free time, like how smartly and how fast I can think, right? Something like this. I was able to answer semi way, like, and then we had another interview regarding machine learning and everything. There I tried to answer all the machine learning question. So although he was telling he is taking care of all AI, but he was not. He was a sales guy. He just lied a lot of things. He didn't understand shit about machine learning, even in the course. So if the course which I have done end to end, any good machine learning engineer will appreciate that, or somebody who is really understood machine learning will know the value of that course, will appreciate. But this guy has blank faces and everything. Then I was thinking, like, whatever the hard work which I did for that guy is nothing. The guy doesn't recognize it. He's saying he's a director for AI and shit. So he was a sales guy. He was lying and he didn't understand machine learning as well. But he liked my enthusiasm and everything. And then he told, like, okay, we'll see. He asked some question which I couldn't answer at that time. I almost answered 80% of the questions. This 20 I was not able to answer. uh, and while coming out from my college, the answer came to my head, right? The answer for this question comes in my head. And I had made friends over there while I was waiting for the, like, QE, right? Other people. I had number of one of them, so I called him back and told him, hey, can you reach out to HR? I wanted to answer this question which I was not able to. I ran it on the phone. Actually, I wanted to come back and say that in person, but when I was going home, I was without a helmet or something, and there was police checking going on, right? This traffic cops. So I don't wanted to go back and just get caught and do something. So I did this thing. And while driving, this idea came to me, the answer, and then I told her to. And so I think they really liked my enthusiasm. I was really passionate about getting hired. They didn't had this position as a fresher for ML or something, but I think there was a chance. So after 2 months or something, I gets a call from them and, like, hey, you have been selected for now, and then I think you will have two more rounds. Who is actually working in AI? The manager who is actually working on AI, and then he will have a telephonic interview with you. So then that guy was bullshit guy. Then again, one stupid people to another stupid. He asked me, like, questions, like trick questions, like, hey, one of the question I don't remember the question, but the answer was like, if you burn the candle from the both end, it is the fastest way to burn it. Like, tell me, if you have a candle, how fast you can burn it. So he told the answer was to burn it from the both the ends. Right. So I couldn't think of it, and he was starting, like, even my son could tell this thing. He's in seventh standard and this whole thing. So he started to humiliate me, like, anything. But yeah, I told him some answer, something, and he felt like, anyway. So in the end, I was got selected for this. My position was associate software developer in data science. Right. So I finally got this job. So the package I got was a 3.5 LPA, although they came for 5 LPA for business consultant. And when I asked him, like, this was supposed to 5 LPA, but you're giving me 3.5, this is not that much enough. So he told me that with soft developers, we only give 3.5. So I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, that's how I got my job. This hurdles has to cross. And what happened was that this company was in artificial intelligence sub branch. Like, one is computer vision, one is NLP, one is general basic linear regression, and these all things, right? And this company was NLP, and I didn't knew about it. and I was studying everything else in the AI world other than NLP. And I took so yeah, they asked me to join as soon as possible, some training session or something. I told, hey, I cannot because my college exams are going and everything. And I asked him like I would only join after 1 or 2 months, something like this, in July or something, because I needed a break. I had really long thing, right? So I told him that okay, no, no, I cannot come for the training period. And that was a lie. College would easily grant me and go. That was not an issue. But I told him no, no, I actually needed a break. In my head I needed a break. Like okay, everything done. I went through a lot of hard work while learning. I need a break. I want to enjoy some time with family, friends, and so I joined 1 month late. And yeah, I was learning at the home. I was trying to prepare myself what I could learn and just chilling. 1 month I chilled and then joined that company. So initially I was supposed to join in Mumbai, but then I came to realize that AI team was in Bangalore, so I had to go in Bangalore. I joined in Bangalore. I think now I see that I should have joined early because I was very in the AI was also going fast. The other people was so advanced, so I had to catch up on them as well. So that would be another story. How I started my first job and everything. What things you can think about. So yeah, that was it. I hope you have understood the process. So as a BCA, it's very hard, but I think if you can be exceptional, I think nothing is hard. And then I proved wrong that I don't need to. Then when this thing happened, like 80% to 75% student didn't got job in my class, and they did MC after that. And I was very happy that okay, I got it, and that was it. Did I miss something? I'm thinking if I missed something. Or do you think if I missed something or something I should ask? If you feel like asking, you can ask in the comment section. I would be really happy to answer those. Uh, so yeah, those things. That time I was also like, this could only happen because of right mentors. And on YouTube, I did found right mentors at that time, right? Which that time I found 3 blue brown videos and everything too. That also helped me understood thing, and a lot of other YouTubers as well. So maybe I could be that person for any of you guys and get inspiration from me, or any you can learn from mistake. Doesn't has to be inspiration all the time, right? So that as well. I don't think I'm forgetting anything to add, but sometimes what happens is like after doing this video, I will think, oh, I missed that part. I should have added. That would be a very, very, very great value. But I'm trying to recall if I missed anything. No, I think that is it. Yeah, but yeah, I did fail lot of like this ratio was like 98% was the success and 98% was the failure. Whatever you say. So whenever you are going, just go with this line. You just have to win one time and you will fail. This I keep saying this too even when I cold approach. You just have to win one time. Just don't care about how many times you fail. Just you have to win one time. Just keep on trying. You have to win one time. Getting a girl or getting a job, you might be rejected 90%. One time your day will come, and that day you have to be the best confident version of you that will crack, and that will make the difference. We don't need multiple girls, right? We don't need multiple jobs or something like this. Yeah, but in girl, I think we need multiple nowadays, I guess. So yeah, having multiple options is good, but I'm just telling you, just don't get disheartened by the failures. It's one time you have to will. The other person is not knowing that how many times you have rejected. If they know that how many times you have rejected, they will probably reject you as well. So when you enter to a meeting or something like that, your face should be like that. You have been winning all the time and you are here to win again. But if your face says this thing, if you're losing and that loser failure is on your face, then the other person is also gonna fail you. So just don't get disheartened by your failure. You just remember you have to win one time. So with this thing, I'll end the video. Sayonara.